Well, everybody, looks like the party's over. That's right. The run is finally finished. The last of the New Orleans Escape 10 was finally captured yesterday. That's right. We got to give our police department a round of applause. Derrick Groves captured in Atlanta after 145 days on the run. I'm not championing this man to go to jail, but this man killed 2 people and shot a whole lot more and been on the run for 145 days, putting the lives of the people of the United States at risk and in terror and fear for their lives. We got the update on his capture. Keep it locked right here, man. Y'all know how we do it. Straight Shooter Podcast, baby. Let's go. Y'all know I'm here to do my duty. Y'all know what time it is, man. Like I said, man, the last of the remaining New Orleans inmates on the run after a jailbreak at the New Orleans Parish Jail in May has finally been captured. That's right, y'all. According to Brian Fair with the U.S. Marshals, Derrick Groves was captured after a standoff at a residence in Southwest Atlanta. That's right. He made his way from all the way from New Orleans jail escape to Atlanta. Now, there's no doubt about it that we all know that he had help along the way and people making sure that he was able to eat, shelter, and all the above. So I'm pretty sure there'll be some more arrests on the way. But he was found near the corner of Campbellton Road and Honeysuckle Lane. Yeah, they found that man in the hood now. You know what I'm saying? In the thick of it, in the A. So Groves was captured after a tip was called in to New Orleans Crimestoppers. I don't necessarily believe that, but that might be the way they putting the spin on it. You know, so Crimestoppers issued a statement that read, Crimestoppers GNO, which is the Crimestoppers in the greater New Orleans area, was very proud to be a member agency working with the task force which brought Mr. Groves to justice in Atlanta. Tipstar organization assisted with the arrest, and our appreciation goes to those individuals who have called, texted, and emailed anonymous tips concerning this incident since the escape. Oh man, that's crazy. Since the escape. So as we work with the law enforcement on this matter, we are thankful for the peaceful resolution to this matter and the excellent work by our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners. So basically, you know, like I said, yesterday in Atlanta, they ran down on them, you know what I'm saying, after they saying they received a tip. Authorities surrounded a home in the Campbellton Road, Honeysuckle Lane area where they were staking out to make sure he was there. And when they got enough intel to find out he was there, you know how they do it now. The walls had to be breached. They sent them air canisters in there with a whole bunch of, they tried to smoke him out. You know, they pulled the Terminator 2 now when he came out the elevator with the smoke gun now. So they smoked him out. And you know, he did what any other brother would do. He found the crawl space at the house and tried to lay low. But you know, man, when they got you, they got you, man. And you know, we ain't talking about Whitey Bulger right here. We're talking about Derrick Groves. But to be fair to this man, he has a story too and a backdrop that we're gonna get into in a minute, because at the end of the day, all of it plays a role in the way this man was brought up and all this and all that. Sometimes the system fails us, and you know, we make bad decisions based off of from what all we know, you know. But after they bagged him up, you know, he went in without incident. He didn't, you know, it looked like he was jibber-jabbing with the police when they called him, probably like, yeah, y'all got me, yada, 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 because this man's situation is different. Now, out of all the 10, this man has already been found guilty, you know, and he's been found guilty for 2 murders and a whole bunch of assault with deadly weapons and on and on and on. So his life is over. He knows he's not getting out. So he had nothing to lose. You get what I'm saying? You know, he was jailed on 3 counts of attempted murder, but 2 of them were murders and a whole bunch of other shootings, you know. So he's been convicted since October 2024. and he was just waiting for sentencing. Now, why he was waiting that long, I don't know, but you know, they got caught up. Well, so he had enough time to plan his escape. He got up out of there, you know. And the wild thing is, he's the grandson of a woman by the name of Kim Groves. Now, people in the New Orleans area know his grandmother because his grandmother was the center of a big case in New Orleans where she was murdered by a hit put out on her by a corrupt New Orleans Police Department officer named Lynn Davis. Now, I don't have time to get into all that today, but y'all go check that story out because this man got a deep story. Like, his grandmother witnessed a crime taking place, and being the great citizen and stand-up person in the community she was, she reported it, and the crooked cop wanted vengeance and put a hit on her and had her murdered. And he was a notorious crooked cop in New Orleans. I don't know if he's still in prison, dead, gone, or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Y'all check out his grandmother, and it's just been a story since then. So how can you expect someone to trust the police when the police murdered their family? You know, put it in the comments. That's probably something psychological that man's been dealing with a long time, which probably caused him to go down the life that he chose to go down. Now, he doesn't get a pass for doing the things that he did, but you know, role models in children's lives and and even adults need role models or mentor. What they call them, mentors when you're grown. But you know, it goes a long way when it comes down to, you know, seeing where you at in life or the decisions you make in life. But y'all check out this news report.
So we know that several teams worked to track down the convicted killer Derrick Groves since his escape. FBI, U.S. Marshals, OPSO, even Atlanta police played a big role today.
WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor picks up our team coverage, explaining how local leaders are reacting to this capture. Shay.
Gina and Travers, first, I just want to say I spoke with family members of Derrick Groves who pretty much tell me that they just want to know he's okay. They also say that they don't know why he would be in the Atlanta area. Now, we did speak with members of law enforcement, including the U.S. Marshals Office, as well as the District Attorney of Orleans Parish, and they pretty much say that they're happy to put the search efforts behind them. Now, as we know, Derrick Groves was one of 10 prisoners to escape from the Orleans Justice Center on May 16th. He was the last to be captured almost exactly 5 months later. Now, earlier we spoke with Brian Fair with the U.S. Marshals, who talks about the amount of work being done on all parts at this time. Now, apparently, Crimestoppers received a very poignant tip that in turn helped to point law enforcement in the right direction. We're told several agencies, including Atlanta PD, had been working on this arrest after hearing about Groves' potential location. Here's a word from U.S. Marshals and DA Jason Williams on those efforts.
It's taken quite a few months. We're just happy it's over. It took several hours once they went to the house today. He was hiding in a crawl space. A lot of manpower hours and effort and equipment had to be used today to get him out of the house.
You've got the Atlanta Police Department heavily involved, working very closely with Brian Fair and the U.S. Marshal Service. The U.S. Marshal Service has just really gone above and beyond.
Now, at this time, we do not know how long Groves had been in Atlanta or if someone potentially transported him there. That's something that's under investigation. We'll have much more on this at 6 p.m. Reporting live from OJC, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
So you see, like I said, man, at the end of the day, it's just kind of, hey, man, it is what it is, bro. He had a good run. I'm pretty sure he got some buns out there, made a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? Made it rain, you know? Shit, my brother was on the year from the feds for 2 years. Had the time of his life. Probably made the most money in his life, even outside of the hood. It be wild like that, you know what I'm saying? So, but when you're on the run, you got to have family, you got to have a support system, and you got to have people that know how to move. See, he's still a young man. And I think he just got too comfortable. Again, he ain't moving like Whitey Bulger. You know, Whitey Bulger didn't have them problems until he screwed up and he got what was coming to him. But I'm talking about in reference to running. That man was on the run for 20 years, almost 30. You know what I'm saying? Sitting back, but he had money. He ain't had to, and a strong support system, whether it was crooked or not. But I'm just saying, in order to run, you got to have a network. He didn't have one. Even the family said they didn't know what he was doing out there. So it sounded like Wu was out there with the homies. You get what I'm saying? Making it twerk. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But, you know, he's off the streets. The people of America can sleep a little bit safer at night knowing that a murderer is off the streets. What else y'all want, man? Y'all put it in the comments, man. You know what I'm saying? A sad thing all the way around, a sad deal, you know? That's the bank calling. I'm gonna pick up the line in a minute. But it's just a sad deal, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, y'all holla at your boy, man. Straight Shoota Podcast. Just wanted to drop something on y'all real quick. Y'all know how we do it, man. Gone.